Okay guys, I'm shooting a video today of my 2013 Chevy Tahoe. I had it lowered. I'm just going to do a quick video, just a quick walk around. Post this on my channel. It's probably not going to be the best video ever, but what are you going to do? It's kind of cold and rainy, so it's just in my garage, so it's kind of tight in here, but I'm not pulling it outside today. So, alright, so I went with the McGaughys 4.5 kit. What's interesting about this kit, here I'm going to zoom in here and you can kind of see, I think you can see the strut there in the front. That's a picture of the adjustable strut. What's interesting about the McGaughys kit is that it markets it as a 4.5, but technically you can remove all of the rings and get 3 inches out of the front. So with the 2-inch drop spindles, you could end up with a 5-inch drop in the front, I think. I don't know. I didn't go that far. I used the 2 inches on the spindle, and we dropped the adjustable struts 1.5 inches. So I'm dealing with 3.5 inches up front and 5 inches in the rear. Let's see here. I'm gonna pull this down here and see how much we can film. You can kind of see down here, that's the my shock extender. This is again pretty terrible lighting. That's the McGaughys 2050 shock. It doesn't come with the shocks on this kit. You have to buy those shocks separately, but they're well worth it. And you know, you can't use the factory shocks that come with these if you're gonna drop it like that. So overall, I think the drop went pretty well. We had, there's a few issues with it, pulling the trailing arm back, getting that to line up so we could get the end links installed properly. But for the most part, here you can kind of see, there's another view. This extender, there's my end links, that's my shock. For the most part, the drop went pretty well. The bushings popped out, no problems up front. It's a fairly smooth operation all the way around. I would highly recommend using the McGaughys kit. I've never used any of the others. I used to have an Expedition, I lowered that, but I went with Bilsteins and they were coilovers, so that was a totally different setup on my Expo than it was on this Tahoe. But in my opinion, the Tahoe looks just phenomenal lowered. It really does look pretty good. I'm pretty impressed with the way it turned out. And it's nice to know I can go lower. I'd like to give a quick shout out to the guys at Reckless down in Houston. I'm up here in Dallas, but I've been talking to those guys and they've been giving me a lot of really great advice. You know, if I were to do this all over again, and I'm probably going to go ahead and take this down there to the guys at Reckless, and I'm going to drop the front probably another inch or 1.5 inches. And they're telling me that they've got a 6-inch rear spring. So I can get this down 1 more inch in the back, which is, I think, will be perfect. Because I won't be quite tucked at that point, but you'll be able to see where I'll have, you know, right now I've got, you know, I can fit maybe almost 4 fingers in there, and I think if I go down another, I know it's highly technical, right? We're using finger measurements here, but I think if I take it down another 1.5 inches up front, that'll put the tire, you know, just below the fender well, and I have no clearance issues whatsoever. So I mean, I've got free spin up front, no problems. Since I've installed this, I have bottomed out a few times, you know, so everyone that's watching this out there, if you're gonna drop these things and you don't do the free travel mod, expect to bottom out if you go as low as 5 inches. Well, the good news is I haven't bottomed out that much, and the ride with the 2050 shocks and the new springs was actually pretty darn good. You know, I'm pretty impressed with the way it turned out. You know, like I said, the ride isn't factory, but it's pretty darn good. It handles real well. The corner's a lot better, and it does a pretty good job of hugging the road. You know, it's only when you're, you know, if you're on the freeway and you hit some dips and some rollies, you know, doing 70, 75, 80 miles an hour, you know, you'll bottom out then and you'll feel it. But it's really not that bad. You know, the recovery rate on these springs and shocks in the back is pretty quick. So, I mean, it's a tap on the back, on the bottom, and then you're right back to ride height again. So it's really not that big of a deal. But when I take it into the guys at Reckless down in Houston, probably going to do that in April. I'm going to have them cut the bump stop bracket off of the back next to the frame and the free travel mod, and give myself a bunch more room. And then we'll put those 6-inch springs in the back. We'll still be able to use the 2050 shocks. They'll still work, so which is good to know. And then, like I said, I'll take it down even more in the front. So yeah, I scuffed up my calipers. I had those painted, so I'm gonna have to go and touch those up. Tomorrow I'm having all this badging removed. So the badging and all this door trim, all that ugly stuff is coming off tomorrow. And it's just my opinion. I mean, I think these things look phenomenal when there isn't any molding or badging on them. So I'm pretty excited to get that done. And then once spring rolls around, I'm going to cut this down, you know, and polish it. Use some good McGaughys compound and put a good cut on it, and then polish it back up. So yeah, all right guys, so yeah, this is the 2013 Chevy Tahoe. It's got the McGaughys 4.5 kit on it. We're not quite done yet, but we're getting there, and she looks a lot better. Again, quick shout out to the guys at Reckless. Thanks a lot for all your help. I really appreciate it. You guys do wonderful work. Okay, bye.